Hello. In this tutorial, we are going to get you familiar with your Distech Control Security System provided by WayPoint systems. For this tutorial and all other subsequent tutorials, the browser we use as a choice is Google Chrome. Google Chrome usually presents the best rendering of the web page or the website from Distech Controls. Once you've found Google Chrome, go ahead and launch it. Type in the IP address provided during your owner training session or that your IT administrator provided to WayPoint systems at the time of commissioning. Make sure that you use HTTPS and then the IP address. Once successful, you will be presented with this login page showing that the name of the system and you will present your username. For the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to sign in as the admin. Once signed in, you are presented with what we call the home screen. You have the monitoring tab, which encompasses your alarms, your activity, anything that has happened within your system can be found here, recordings and logs in real time. Next, we have the personnel tab. The personnel tab is where you're probably going to be spending most of your time. This is where you're going to add people, the badges, and the right to access the space under this particular tab. We also discuss tenants. Tenants are another way of organizing your system for ease of use. Next, you have the reports tab, where you will find predetermined reports that present to you the information based on the name and offer you a way to access reports that the system can generate and print off for you. Next, we have the controller setup tab. The controller setup tab is where you'll find your schedules, users, which are different than personnel, because a user is someone who administers the system, while persons under the personnel tab are beneficiaries of the system. Your remote devices, access setup, intrusion, alarm setup, and miscellaneous. For the purposes of this tutorial, we are going to discuss the overview of the personnel tab and the overview of the controller setup tab. Starting first with the controller setup tab. Upon clicking controller setup, you will see that you can create schedules, and all your schedules that are created are stored here and can be modified for ease of use. The user management tab presents you with the users of the system who can administer the system and gives you a brief overview of what they're allowed to do. As you can see, the users are able to be administrators of the system. Your backups tab. This is where you're going to find the ability to back up information stored in the database of this JACE, download it from here when you create a local backup, and you can store the backup off-site in the event of catastrophic failure. WayPoint Systems has already taken a backup of the system prior to it being delivered to you. The backup that WayPoint Systems has will restore your JACE back to the day it was first issued to you, or the day that we were first using the system following the owner training session. Should you need a backup and your backups are corrupted or you no longer have access to them, please contact WayPoint Systems and we should be able to provide a backup copy for you. The Remote Devices tab. Under the Remote Devices tab, specifically you're going to be concerned with is go ahead and expand the Remote Modules tab and come down to Remote Module Identification. The reason we come to this tab is that this presents you with the ability at a glance to see anything that's going on with your system, presented in the information of seeing which door was accessed and or which reader was presented. The information located in these tabs will be dynamically populated and flash yellow anytime that there is activity going on at that particular location. The access setup, intrusion setup, alarm setup, and miscellaneous are all settings that are for advanced users. Next, we will go over the monitoring tab. The monitoring tab will present you with alarms in case that any of your alarms in your system have gone off, will be shown to you here. The activity monitor presents and records any activity done within your system. This tab is live. It will present information as it's happening in real time in your system. If you have monitors or you elected to have the recording sessions or the cameras that are a part of your system integrated into the security system, you can then set up video monitoring here. Next, we will go over the Personnel tab. The Personnel tab is where you're going to spend most of your time. This is where we like to say, answer the 4 questions. Who should have access, which is the People tab. What are they going to use to access the space, which is the Badges tab. And third, the access rights. What do they have the right to access? The fourth question involves schedules, and that is, when are they allowed to access the space? So, looking here, you can add users, you can delete users, you can modify users from this tab. Looking here, we'll take a look at Kerry Mahoney. From here, we can see that Kerry Mahoney is assigned to the 16th precinct, and he is a security guard under the Police Academy tenant. The important thing here is whenever you click into a person tab, or a person under the People tab, you need to understand that there is a triangle relationship that can indicate a successful ad. The name is where the keystone or the corner frame of where the database in your system is recording the data. The badges is the left side of the triangle, and the access right is the right side of the triangle. In order to ensure that the person or the individual can access the space correctly, you need to ensure that they at least have these three items connected: the name, the badge, and the access right. When clicking on a tab, the information presented is the same. However, how you're accessing or looking at the information is different. If you have the names of the individuals, you want to start with the People tab. If you need to administer the system using the badges because you have a badge in your hand, click Badges, and the information presented based on the badge number first is presented in that fashion. Following that, you have the access rights. The access rights shows you all access rights granted into your system. Access rights simply means what did you give the individual or individuals the right to access. Tenants are another way of auto-assigning certain privileges in your system. To further understand tenants, please see the tenant video. Reports. Across the top, you will be presented with predetermined reports that you can click on at any given time, and as long as the system has been in use, you can see access And as long as you can see the system in use, you can see things that have happened to the system, things that you have done, added, deleted by the username, and by the service or the device that was changed, and the information will be presented to you. Under miscellaneous reports, you can find other different types of reports that may be beneficial to you. One final thing I would like to mention is that no matter where you are in the system, you have this Help tab in the top right-hand corner. And any page you are on within the system, you can click the Help tab, and it will take you to the relevant page within the Help guide to guide you through the page that you're on. Notice here we were on the home screen, so if at any point in time you would either like more information or less information, or you feel that you can read the information on your own, click the Help tab and it will take you to that specific page, again, that is in the Help menu. Clicking through the links at the bottom will take you to that respective page within the system. Clicking any of the tabs across the top will take you back into the system to that page specifically that you were on to actually manipulate the system. Once again, if you get to this tab and you need to help, go ahead and click the Help tab again, and it will take you back to the actual Help section relating to that specific tab. At this time, this concludes this tutorial.